Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Talking Movies, and this your boy Sean, aka Puff Comics 83, and we're here to talk about the biggest party of all parties, House Party, starring Kid and Play from 1990. That's right. We're only going to discuss the first film. We will usually with franchises we'll try and do the sequels, but we're only going to touch on the first film. And we're only gonna touch. Even what's up, Inja? Even if we did the films, we only gonna do the Kid and Play films because fuck the sequels after part 3. That's all I can say. Fuck them all. How are you doing, VB?
Well, your ass is mine. I love Pop. Like,
rest in peace to Robin Harris.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace. Only 36 years old.
He was so good in this film that he's the one guy that you wouldn't want to cross at all. And the way he ran up onto the party and started roasting everybody, you almost wish that he roasted the entire room.
Yeah, he was on a roll. Yeah, first time
cops and everything.
Yeah, first time watching this movie. There was not even a German title for it. There was a German release, but that one thing is sold out. I think it was a few years ago. But yeah, so I had to buy it like digital on Amazon because otherwise there would have been no way to get this in time here. But yeah, it's.
And your overall thoughts, man?
I really enjoyed it. I think it was a little stale in the middle, but I really liked the first act and the third act. I do think it would have had like a bigger impact on me if I would have watched this in the 90s, when I was like in that age group. Also, of course, Pop 36 years old when the movie shot, like the teenagers are all like 25 to 30s.
Hey. Full Force was damn near 35. How many times they got left back in school?
Yeah.
Man, this movie was so huge, growing up here in the States and especially in African American culture. And it's always about the life of the party. And whenever we hear, you come to the party, whether it's a block party, a house party or not, people just can't wait to get together and have a good time. You got guys going there looking to score with the ladies. You got the ladies looking to tease and do all the stuff. And then you just want to have a good time. The one thing that was missing at the party, which was one of the ladies brought up, like, you gotta need, drinks or some food or something like that. How do you have a party and not have no damn food? No chips or nothing.
Yeah.
That's inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
It's ridiculous. But other than that, House Party is a classic. And it's a movie that I can watch over and over again. Matter of fact, I woke up, I saw your stuff, and I was like, damn it, I'm going to watch the film again.
Yeah, I think that all the characters are very interesting. What I really liked about it, that I think that every character was like relatable. They were, of course, a little bit of a hyperbole because it's a comedy, so they exaggerated some traits. But otherwise, I think this is a very, of course, since I'm not an American, but it feels like a very authentic movie, especially for the end of the 80s, like beginning of the 90s. It felt like from the culture, it was like this passing of the torch.
Yes, and it definitely felt like that.
Yeah, and also probably I think this is since I'm when I listen to rap, I mostly really listen to some German rap that I think is, of course, has way more impact when you also knew all the actors that are also musicians.
Yes, there's a lot of musicians. They have freaking George Clinton in here, man. Legend. All the funk music from the 70s and early 80s. You know, he had a great cameo in this film. You know, so they definitely like tapped into the musical element of the time from both the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And what you said is perfect because it definitely launched the 90s in terms of this is that we're moving out of the 80s and into the 90s and then this new era of music and generation. So it definitely felt like that transition from the 80s to the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like it's about cultural importance, not only from the portrayal of everyday life, but also from the music point of view.
And that's what makes this stand out, you know, and that it's relatable in terms of being young and you want to just live life to the fullest. And I like how Kid is like, yeah, I know I'm going to be punished. I know I'm going to be grounded.
Yeah.
But I'm going to fucking enjoy this, you know.
Exactly. Like, that's like the thing, you know, it's like, oh, you know, you're going to get punished. Yes, but I want to let's make it worth it.
And it goes back to what we talked about when Dazed and Confused, you know, live your life to the fullest. Because
exactly.
You know, they're trying to label you and put things onto you. And he's like, let me just enjoy now before I get to that. You know, and I like how Pops is trying to kick him knowledge, you know, and trying to tell him not to make the same mistakes I made.
Yeah.
You know, and the movie does have that message because, you know, once it gets with Sydney, you know, they think that they're going to get it on, but, you know, they start to realize, like, nah, that's not going to work because, you know, we don't want to go through that.
And let's face it, like, who back, I don't know how the people do it today, but who back then, as a, like, when you were a teenager, didn't have, like, the condom like, they're in your, like, very, very well stored and probably, since it hasn't been used, like...
That shit was about 3 years old. The expiration date was completely past.
Yeah, so I think that was that made me really laugh because I think when I was like, you know, when I was 15 and it's just like, because you never know. Yeah, it turns out that it's not easy to get laid.
and that's the thing. Like, yeah, like sometimes you best to come prepared because most of the time they don't care about, you know, protection and stuff. They just want to get in there and do the thing so they can brag about, yeah, I did it. I scored with the chick. But you know, and that's the thing is like you got the females that's gonna fucking play hard to get. You know, that's Serene. You know, everybody was chasing after her, and then people kept interfering, and it's like, you know, am I ever gonna get with this chick? And she's just playing like teasing them. It's so relatable. It's so like, yeah, it's like you've been through this, you know, when you grew up. Like this is the girl you want, but then she plays that hard to get role, and then you got a girl to the side that likes you, but you're not really that interested in her. You want this one.
Yeah.
This movie plays with a lot of tropes in there, and it just utilizes it so well.
And I think this is especially like that part it's just very human, like that transcends culture. We're all horny.
Yeah, you know, we're young, dumb. You know, we ready to just go out and just explore and have fun.
And of course, I also like the decoration at home, slippery when wet. So I remember like I had like this bunk bed where like on top of the bed and down there was just a early man cave, and it was basically full with cutouts from underwear catalogs and from the magazines.
I used to cut out the Jet magazine's Beauty of the Week, put them on the wall. But I would have to take them down whenever my mom comes because it's like, I want her seeing my shrine of Jet Beauty of the Week.
I had a whole Pamela Anderson wall in there.
So yeah, you know, sometimes that stuff is so relatable, you know, because you did it as a teenager yourself.
Yeah.
Damn, I had something on my mind. Then you brought up that. But go ahead.
I remember when I had friends over, I could have charged entrance for that thing.
oh, that's what I want. I like how Play is setting up for the party, and he's switching his mom's glasses with paper cups and shit. Because we talked about this in Days of Confused. Like, the parents are going out of town. We're gonna have a party here. And then once the parents got wind that he ordered all this fucking beer, nah, we better stay home. So
Hey,
Play is trying to Play is trying to like make sure that they don't mess up his parents' silverware and all that stuff like that. Paper plates, plastic cups. That's it. I'm not letting them touch my mama's glass.
Yeah. Also, how much sugar can you put in a Kool-Aid?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Bro, just watching that shit gave me a massive headache and my diabetes shot up. And
Yeah.
I remember the times when we used to lace the Kool-Aid with so much sugar. Oh my god! That shit took me back in the worst way.
I remember, like, being like a teenager, and you just think you can survive on Coke or like cola all day long. Like, I remember, like, pen and paper roleplay. Of course, we play pen and paper roleplays, like not Dungeons and Dragons, but the German equivalent of it, das schwarze Auge, the dark eye. Like, I remember I don't know how we survived without diabetes. Like, we had the snacks, we had like 2 liter of cola and everything.
I mean, we would eat all the fruit punches, drink the fruit punches with fucking cakes and all that stuff, sour powders and all that.
Yeah, now the only having here my tea, but
we tore ourselves up when we was kids. But that's the thing, we were kids, we were young.
Yeah.
Our bodies was able to still, handle that. Whereas the older you get, you can't eat that shit no more.
Yeah,
I remember one time my cousins came over, right, and they made Kool-Aid. That was the worst thing that ever happened, letting them make Kool-Aid. Because I took one sip of the Kool-Aid and I damn near died. That's how strong the sugar was in that sucker. I had to just put non-stop water in it just to take the sweetness out of
it. You know what? But there's something that I just can't eat anymore because luckily I'm, except for all the fucking fats I eat with fast food, like, but sweet-wise, I cut really down. I tried Skittles and it's like, what the fuck is this?
There's a lot. I can't eat Three Musketeers or Snicker bars. Skittles, that, and now laters, forget about it.
Yeah.
I can't eat none of that stuff. Because now that shit fucks your teeth up. It's like, I'm 40 years old now. My teeth ain't what it used to be. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of things.
At least we still got them.
There's a lot of things that we just can't mess with no more. But again,
So basically watching this movie, like, for the first time now, like, I immediately, like, identified with Pop. It's like, yeah, I want to be at home, I rented video, want to watch Dolomite, spend like quality time with my son, because you like Dolomite, don't you? You grew up on him.
But you also get to see kids' perspective. Like, I done watched Dolomite so many times. I'm gonna get away from Dolomite.
Yeah.
Because then once you get a certain age, you don't want to really be hanging with pops no more. You want to hang with your friends and go out and have fun. So
I remember when I was teaching and I gave like everybody that was in there and that was under 20, like the tip is like, the stuff you liked as a kid and you now find silly, it comes back when you're 30, so keep it.
Yep. And think about it, like we talked about a lot of the silly stuff from the 80s and stuff. Now that shit is just entertaining and fun to me.
Yeah. So,
hey, I get a kick out of watching all the Dolomite films because they're entertaining.
Fantastic. It's I know we already talked them, but I couldn't listen every day.
Still gotta talk Petey Wheatstraw and Petey Wheatstraw and the other one.
Oh yeah,
Godfather.
Yeah.
Still gotta talk those two films, and then probably the one with Yaphet Kotto.
Now,
Oh, we got Dolomite stream for Black February. But yeah, it's like it's definitely a time capsule of getting prepared for the parties. Now I say Play is so smooth and confident with his character. You know, he gets the ladies, but he did Bao so dirty when he went to pick him up, stuffing all his equipment in that little ass car.
Oh, that hurt. That's hurt me. The scratches in the
damn speakers.
The records like banging, like
he kicking the shit in the. Like, you know how much it takes to build a record collection just to see it get shoved into a damn car like that?
But I totally remember that. Like, I remember when I was like a teenager and, you know, you want to be cool, you want to be a DJ. So like me and like my cousin, we went to like a local rock bar and asked, hey, can we be like a DJ here? And it was like, it was really kind of, oh yeah, you can do it, but only during the week. And naturally, and you get like a free food, free drink. So like, of course, it was not really paid. So for them, it was a free DJ. But for us, we felt like, you know, we're, like I said, like the masters of ceremony. So, but I totally remember back then, you know, you had your bags, your CDs and stuff in there. Like nowadays, everything on a fucking USB stick, which, you know, like a lot of technology is actually good, because I remember like with a Discman, Walkman, and carrying like the whole shebang with you.
And you had to spend the extra money to get the anti-skip disc Walkman.
Oh yeah, I remember my first Discman, like, and playing it like, especially when you, first of all, you had fucking batteries in there, and I used it when we had like a school trip, you know, when for 3 days, and like it was like a few hour bus trip, and it's like,
yes. Hey, I stayed loaded with batteries because I was like, man, if I got my Walkman or my CD player, I got to have a pack of batteries in my pack.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, he was just tearing up the vinyls and the speakers, and then you pull all the car up, and you ain't got.
It's 2024, and I'm still having fucking music tapes.
Using tape CDs, I still listen to CDs. I don't care.
Yeah, and I also did, but of course, like everything in Dungeon Sync is like also released on tapes. So these are like brand new fucking tapes.
Yeah, man. And then Play got a honey in the car, so Val can't get in with him. And then when Play comes back, he come back with more honeys. And Val has this notorious reputation for having dragon breath. The dude breath stink. And mother-in-law plays into the teeth. Every time he goes to talk to Smiley, like, oh, no.
You know, there is only one solution when you have dragon breath. You gotta have that Slim Jim breath. Let me smell that Slim Jim breath.
Slim Jim breath, man. Oh, yeah.
That was the weirdest promo.
And then, you know, after Play gets to a fight with full force, the most grown-ass high schoolers of all high schoolers. And it's funny how, that's why I love that we did these 3 movies in a row, you know, because bullying or, you know, stuff like that, it's like a theme in these films. You know, Ben Affleck, and then last week we talked that, even though we concluded that he wasn't a bully, but, you know, people like to say bully. But full fucking force. Jesus.
That scene is like with the principal where she's like, why would you call her mother a garden tool?
See, that shows you that she was behind the times, because he called my mama a hoe. Why you calling his mama a garden tool? It's classic, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Full Force really like makes the movie even more entertaining than it already is, because they just so over the top with their bullies. that the way they talk, Pee-wee in his voice, and you got what's his name, Paul. It's like
Step, and Scylla, yeah.
Godzilla.
Furia 1's up for Scylla for 2.
So it's like these guys are just so over the top with how they bully, and then they're not afraid to commit murder or arson.
Yeah.
They want to run kids over, and then they want to burn the house down when they don't get in the party.
There's only one dude tough in the neighborhood. Is Roughhouse.
Yeah.
He had like a very loose trigger finger.
I was like, damn, he was getting the end. Oh, Roughhouse. He was getting the end. No saying what. Curtains wide open. Hey, he thinking, oh, I got the fences. Ain't nobody gonna see. Man, kid jump over that fence. The first thing he see is him going to work. And then full force climb up. Let me see.
And he had no chill, like shooting first.
Like he sees kid. He ain't even stop what he's doing. He just go reach out his gun, still talking his thing, and then he starts shooting. Oh man, this movie will not be made today the way they made this film.
Yeah,
because fuck that, whatever they made last year. We're not even gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
but yeah, the full force was just all over the top, and then we got talked about the police. They're the villains of the film.
To quote the NWA, like fuck the police.
They should have had that song on here. Because they say to protect and serve. But these guys are more like to harass and violate. Because that's all they was doing the whole movie.
Yeah, that was... of course, like I don't have any personal... Maybe from football, but I don't have like any other like experience with the police, like in that sense, like how it is in the US. But watching this, I think if I would have watched this as a kid, it would have been gone over my head because I don't have this association with police. But watching it right now, it was like really cringy, like the police. like you really were like, oh, just don't be dicks.
But I have a story. Back in high school, we talked about this in previous films about how your friends jump in to help you out when you getting jumped. I got jumped, and friends jumped in to help out. We going after these youngins that jumped us because they were a year under me. I was a senior. I was a junior, and they were sophomores. So we going after them. We going to the
rightfully so, because you can't let it slip.
Yeah. And then it was like a sneak attack on me. So we chased them down to the gas station, and everybody that's there start hovering around because it's an after school thing. So everybody's like, oh, we gonna throw it out. We gonna fight. Next thing you know, we hear the whoop whoop. 2 cars pulled up. The cops got out, dressed in regular clothes. But one thing that caught my eye was 2 of them had their hands on their side of their waist. Man, I saw that shit. The light turned green. And this is like 2 big ass streets, big intersections. I saw that light turn green. I speed walked my ass across the street. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not getting in trouble. I'm not going to be on the 6 o'clock news with some disaster happening at the school because of after school fight. And this is the same year that the Amadou Diallo shooting happened. But if y'all don't know, Amadou Diallo was an immigrant that was living in the Bronx. He was coming home from work after driving, because he was a taxi driver, I think. And the police approached him because they would look for a suspect in the neighborhood. So as he's up on the door,
and he looked very suspicious.
Yeah, just like the cops in this movie. Oh, he looked suspicious. as he's at the door of his townhouse, they ask him to turn around and stuff, and him being foreign, he think he has to pull out his wallet and show ID. It's dark. One cop sets gun, and they start unloading on this man. Shot him over 40 times, and it was so goddamn tragic.
40?
Over 40 times. They really. It was more bullets that hit the surrounding building, but they lit him up 40 times, and that shit was horrible. And I'm sitting here like, I'm seeing these cops with their hands on their sides, and I'm like, and this is the reason why the trust issue with the police has always been an issue.
Yeah, it's very understanding, especially when you have like a police force where, where being a black sheep is not the exception of the rule, but very common. So like I can totally understand when you're like uneasy there, because they are very trigger happy.
And look how the movie portrayed them as, it's like the fact that the following year after this film, the Rodney King situation happened. And it's
I don't know.
This is the constant things that black people has to deal with within their own neighborhood, and one of the cops in the film was very trigger happy. You see how quick he was able to hold his gun at him. When Robin Harris pops is like, put his hands up or put his hands on the side, they thinking he about to pull a gun, so they both pull the gun on. It's crazy. And it's shit like this is why even in 2024 we still have to worry about the police shooting us, because they just shot the lady who called the cops for assistance and then end up getting shot by police.
Yeah.
So, like I said, sometimes the movie kind of triggers me with the police because I know how they are.
I'm very happy I'm living in Austria.
But yeah, but the movie does poke fun at it, but at the same time, there's some realness. But,
because it felt like, watching it for the first time and now knowing also a lot about like U.S. history, it really felt like, because it's such a light-hearted movie, but every time the police gets involved, it gets really tense. And it really breaks with the atmosphere of the whole movie, but of course this was done on purpose.
Look at when Kid and them jump into the party with all the older folks. We show up, they're waiting for them for some charges, and the people's like, no, we don't want to press charges. They need more discipline than solitary. And the cops
speak after me.
They are so disappointed. Like, they want to press charges. The first cop come up and say they're too scared to press charges. I'm like, what the fuck? It's shit like that. It's an example of real life. They will say shit like that just to say, they're too scared to charge. But what they really say is, these kids ain't really do nothing wrong. Even though Full Force was damn near villains in there trying to burn the house. But even the other two members of Full Force are like, we don't want to burn people, we just want to kick ass. So, but the cops always use that as a way to justify their position of power. Because when they arrested the bullies, instead of calling it in, they like, oh, let's take them to the dock and beat their ass. And it's like, again.
So the after credits scene is really good in this movie.
Yeah, they get what they deserve.
And also this is also the funny thing, because it's such a lighthearted movie, and then the after credits scene suddenly, they have like this house from the dream from the beginning of the movie crashing down to the roof. And the thing is, because everything else is like very lighthearted, this movie done with cheek and tongue, and then you have really like puppets being crushed, and you see like the mangled corpse in the roof. So like,
it was a great payoff just to set them straight. Like, the way they act throughout the entire movie, their negativity, they deserved it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about. I know you said that the middle portion is like the weakest for you.
Yeah, but also like for me now. But I'm pretty sure if I would have watched it like in the 90s, it would have been like also like very on point.
But for me, the main portion of the party is one of my favorites because one of the most replayed scene and posted scene on social media is that dance off between Sydney, Shireen, Kid and Play. And I'll tell you, I done tried the Kid and Play dance so many times as a kid. Like, you cannot stop us from doing the Kid and Play dance. The kick step, bouncing, and all that stuff. Bro, that scene just has us dancing every time we watch the film because it is so engaging. And the music, by the way, during that scene is actually played by Full Force. You know, they did that song. Ain't my type of hype. So, but that scene just always gravitates for me because it just represents what a party is about.
Yeah. You know, like, I'm part of German culture. We don't dance except for war dances, but we're marching. We're not dancing.
Yeah, you're marching, but then you do the Kid and Play and break the whole thing up. And then the whole thing with Kid and Play rapping against each other, that was good battles between them because I like how they keep upping the ante, and that's why I use the line that I use in my bottom.
I love the
describes you best.
I love the rap song in the chair.
But you know, it's just it really.
Hey, Spider.
Yeah, the George Clinton line. Tears in the bucket. Let's take it to the stage. Yeah, like I said, there was some. I wanted to use the quote from John Witherspoon. He like, public enemy. What is a public enemy?
Enema.
John Witherspoon.
This house cost me $1,500.
Y'all making all that racket over there.
That blasted out my earphones.
He was so in the small role. He always gonna be funny in any movie he's in, and John Witherspoon was hilarious in his scenes.
Yeah, it was. I loved it. Does he come into police? The only one who's loud here is you.
You like, man, don't get mad at me cursing. You curse me, fuck you too.
Yeah, like there would have been a lot of quotes I also wanted to use, but the moment, of course, that the dad talks about Dolomite, I knew like I had to use that quote.
Oh yeah, man. They're like Robin Harris, like he's
deep down in the jungle, deep.
he was so great in the small role that he had, and like I said, this is the movie that was supposed to be his launching pad because he was in Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox. I mean, you talk about a cast of comedians. Like, he was great in that. He was in Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee joint, and then he was also in Mo Better Blues, which was the last movie he filmed before he passed. This and Mo Better Blues was the last stuff he did. So he was on the up and up, and he just suddenly passed away. And it's like, this was supposed to be his breakout, and unfortunately we never got to see him at his finest.
It is really a pity because he stole every scene he was in this movie.
Every scene. And that's not to take away from anybody else. I thought the entire cast did a great job, but the small scenes Robin Harris had in this film were like constant rewinders. Like, you're constantly watching. And when he showed up to the party ready to roast everybody, he like, Bob, what kind of name is Bob? It sounds like something you catch on your feet. Like, what's your name? And like, Clinton X. Oh, Clinton X. Well, why don't you go make me some bean pie sandwiches and bring back some pork chops? He's just roasting everybody.
Yeah.
And then you got the two female leads, Tisha Campbell and AJ Johnson. Fantastic actors in their own right. and it's funny how Tisha Campbell, this is her and Martin's first movie together. And then they did Boomerang with Eddie Murphy, and then they did the show Martin. And it's like they've been to get tied by the hip for since this movie. So I always say that when she left Kid after House Party 2, she hooked up with Martin and got together with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else that you want to say, add to this before I go on?
This, like I say, for me, it was the part that was, like the middle part was for me the one that I could not really connect with. Therefore, like some things were repetitive, but also I'm too old I'm too old for this teenage drama.
Hey, I'll take this teenage drama over the emo teenage drama or stuff like Twilight, shit like that.
I've never seen Twilight, will never will.
This is
back in my days, vampires sucked blood and not cock.
It's either that or you step to the woman in the party and you're gonna get cock blocked by somebody else. Why you cock blocking me, Kate? and then let's talk about the jail scene.
me a homo? That's a no.
That's
Not jail.
I like how he asked the old man, who's another popular actor from that thing, how to get out the situation. He's like, well, Richard Pryor used to tell jokes when he was in jail. So you gotta do something. Because right now your cakes are grilled and you already grilled. So kids start to rap, and the rap is hilarious.
It is like that one was really good, especially since it was like really telling the story in the end. He's basically it's like he's when you want to rap yourself out of getting raped in jail.
And the guys that was ready to do the job, I like how they have their own history of like, what you in for? I took out a man's heart. And then what you in for? And like, I beat a police officer with his own club, and I stayed there afterwards. well, what you in for? I work at the daycare. It's so random. It's so hilarious.
It is, and
they're all drawing straws.
But I also really enjoyed about that scene because this is where like all the friends come together to get the bail. So, and
it's also like even before that, like they're trying to one up each other and see who gets what. And Sydney and Shireen is like, why are you always teasing him and you're not even giving him no play? Like, you set play up, telling him to meet Friday, then you set Kid up saying you're going to meet Friday, and she like, well, one's going to be on punishment and the other one's available, so it's a win for me. And it's like, they play these games. Like, that's why I think of the Chucky Booker song, Games. Yeah, they like to play the game.
Once a woman knows the worth of their pussy, it's over, man.
And then the way Sydney and Kid got together, at least they got to know each other, whereas Shireen was just really just teasing everybody. But once they got together to help Kid out, that showed the friendship that they had. Yeah. Like, no matter what, we're always going to support each other.
And they just came in the nick of time.
Yes.
Before I was turned around.
And bro, the way that whole sequence is like, bro, don't turn your back to them, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like how, to me, the movie ends fantastic because everybody goes their separate ways. They go home. Kid sneaks into his house, goes upstairs, takes off his clothes, and as soon as he's ready to get in bed, wouldn't do that just yet. With the credits going while Robin is beating that ass. Hilarious.
He earned it.
You make me walk all the way around the city.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat your ass till the end of time.
Yeah.
and I just, it's such a great film.
It is.
And it's relatable because there are times where you got that curfew, you gotta be home before curfew. You ain't home, it's gonna be some trouble.
It is, and like I remember being there, and then like they say in this movie, I remember being there, and somebody said it's like, we should have gone like half an hour ago. It's like, yeah, we're past curfew now, we can also stay. So it's like, because we're gonna get punished anyway. It doesn't matter when we come home now.
It's either you willing to accept the punishment for what's gonna be happening, or you just say, fuck it, man.
Yeah.
Just live life. And that's the thing. Like,
I remember one time, that was when I was still drinking alcohol back then, and I was out I was so horribly drunk, and I looked like I have to be home like in half an hour. So I went out of the pub, and the pub was like in the same village, so I ran, and in my head I was like nimble and fast, but probably must have it must have looked like horrible, but I made it in time.
It was one guy in there that got drunk, so drunk that he fell out while they were doing the dance. He was saying, why the hell are you gonna get all messed up? He was the one getting turned down by every chick in the party. It's like, when you get turned down by every chick, the only thing you can do is drink.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do. Because you ain't walking out getting the damn thing.
Yeah, it's maybe I always like I think we also had like that rule when we went out and looking for girls back then, that, and I think that was already when it was like in the 20s already, so there was no more curfew. Like basically, if you don't get laid like before 3 a.m., after 3 a.m. nobody judges what you pick.
Oh shit! It's
I remember a story from my cousin, and he's an asshole. Fucking. He said like one time, he came home drunk, and he had like a chick with him. That was when he was still living in the same house as his parents, and he woke up in the morning and he saw how ugly he really was. It was just that when he picked up, he was just looking at her boobs because they were big and everything. So basically, they're like, "Oh, like I have like this plan, you have to go." So he basically sneaked her out of the house, and nobody saw how ugly like it.
Desperate times, man. Desperate times. And like, sometimes it's the last resort. You got to get something.
Something, there's. I think everybody has like a dry spell, like once in a while, and then like, and I remember like other days where I had like 3 dates in 3 different days. And I didn't even expect to get laid, and I got laid at every one of these dates. So, like, with the last date, and the third day, I was already exhausted. Like, it was just, the chick told me we were watching movies, and then he was like, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, man, it worked out.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah.
Hey, at least you didn't hit a live button and went live, smashing another chick like Sandra Sharp did. Oh, I had to throw that in there.
Yeah. But yeah, and then there's also dry spells when you can do what you want, and I do have to say, when you don't drink alcohol, it's way more secure.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really fall for the worst cases.
That's it, man. But thing is though, the life of the party. This movie was just so important when it came out. It launched Kid and Play. It launched Martin Lawrence. Sadly, Robin Harris passed away, but he's forever immortalized based on this role alone. And
you also said about comics and cartoons, so this was really cultural significant and already recognized as such.
Yeah. And Reginald Hudlin directed a bunch of films even after that, but this was the one that really...
And wrote Black Panther.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, this movie is just an important film. Everybody involved in it did a great job. And it's funny because the movie originally, they wanted Will Smith to be in it. Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy
because
Jeff.
of the contract thing.
Yeah, and I felt like Kid and Play fit much more because there's no denying that Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith would have done a good job, but they didn't have the dance element that Kid and Play had.
And I also think that with Will Smith, that he would have, I think like it was more like an even playground in this movie. And I think that with Will Smith, he would have like been more like center and everything.
Yes, like because that's the thing. Like Kid and Play played off each other so well with their raps, their dance and stuff.
Yeah.
Where Jazzy Jeff was just the DJ, and Will Smith is the MC. So it wouldn't have had that back and forth element that Kid and Play had. So to me, it worked out much better with Kid and Play.
Absolutely.
And that to me is like what makes this movie so special. Again, the music, the vibes, the dancing, just the overall presentation of one big party, very little nonsense in terms of somebody. I will say there is one scene that would have turned to violence if it was real life, and that was when Chill kept banging up on Bow's record set while he was DJing. Like, it would have gotten violent because you telling this man to stay away from my set and he keep bumping into it.
Hands off the DJ.
Yeah, it would have gotten violent there.
Yeah,
I'm trying to do my set and have a great party, and you messing it all up.
Yeah, that would have been a no everywhere.
Yeah, so that probably would have got escalated in some violence. And I did like the play when Full Force approached the door, and he, they like, what was that? I smell pussies. And then Kid is like, well, if we're a bunch of pussies, y'all a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, that was like I really wish that I would have watched this movie back then, but also I was pretty sure that the German dubbing would have been horrible.
Oh man, I can't imagine German dubbing on this.
Yeah,
it just don't have the same effect.
I know it's
funny hearing that from foreigners saying that when they watch the movie in English, they finally like truly get the full meaning of the jokes and stuff like that. So now it's much better context.
Yeah, because I remember watching one of the best movies ever, Airplane.
Yes,
I loved it as a kid, and when the brothers were talking chive, I since I grew up with the German version, they had just used I think a Swiss dialect. They made them use a Swiss dialect, like a really crazy German dialect. But of course, because how could you dub chive?
They have to put subtitles for time.
Yeah.
Man, Airplane, that's another film we gotta talk about in the future. Man.
Yeah, Airplane 1, Airplane 2, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe even have we already talked Top Secret?
I don't think so. We haven't talked that.
But yeah, Airplane and Top Secret, and of course all the And of course, everyone
still
to
got-
Roy Bridges.
We still got to do the Naked Gun series. So Leslie Nielsen.
I love Nelson. He's lovely.
Yeah,
and
we gotta do that.
and O.J. Simpson, he's a funny guy. You can trust.
But yeah, it's just classic, man. This was a great discussion.
Yeah.
First time watch, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And another first time watch next week, the 5 Heartbeats.
Oh man, another classic.
Haven't watched it yet, but I'm very much looking forward. But it's not next week. It's the week after, because next week I'm at a concert on Friday.
Nice. But yeah, that great discussion. And like I said,
Yeah.
it's a movie that I can just watch nonstop, and it's
Yeah.
like I said, it means a lot more to me because of that time period. And I'm a late '80s, early '90s
Yeah.
junkie, but just
But I'm
but
I'm very happy that I have put this movie also like into my database of no movies, and I really think that like I say, like it's a pity that I haven't watched it in the 90s when it came out, but I'm very happy now that I've seen it, and and of course, like I love every Dolomite reference.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you watch it, and you're like, now I'm gonna start watching some Dolomite.
Yeah.
All thanks to Robin Harris.
Human Tornado.
Human Tornado. Let's go Godfather. Petey Wheatstraw. Gotta get an eye on for the sequels, man.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Like I said, I'm looking at Black History Month. We'll definitely plan something for that.
February comes sooner than you think.
Oh yeah. So great discussion. Shout out to everybody that showed up. Air Spider was dropping some gems. You know, Kenneth Bird and of course Inja. Great to see her. And other than that, it's great discussion. And it concludes our trilogy of school topic movies, and I felt like it was perfect to end it with this. And it's like a theme. Every movie has a little bully, a slice of life, and you got your guys who are older that shouldn't be in with the school, but it's just a great 3 weeks of film talk.
Yeah. And the next one is for your birthday, and then we start October, but not with a horror movie, because sadly we have to pay homage to one of the most fantastic actors, probably one of the most fantastic voices that's ever existed in humankind. We're gonna honor the late James Earl Jones with, at least it's fitting for October, Hunt for the Red October.
Yes, that is a much better choice than your original choice that you asked me, because
Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
I was like, no. But I am looking forward to that because James Earl Jones means so much to me.
Yeah.
As an actor, as a person, the voice. When I posted, of course, he had to get into heaven with the rose petals at his feet. But that Sandlot scene meant a lot to me because, my dad was a big baseball guy and he took us to baseball games. So, and to find the Negro League stuff that I have, it meant a lot to him to pass it on to me. So I love that movie, The Sandlot. And when James Earl Jones showed up there, it took me aback when I first watched it. And just his small role, he had a massive presence in it. And that's how great of an actor he is.
And of course, Coming to America, like Legend, we already talked. Maybe we should also I have to look if those are still on. We should re-upload those.
We need to do a full
for next week, maybe
the original film. Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week. I'll see if it's still.
And remember, we said that was the best way he went out as a character in that film.
Yeah.
A celebration of King John.
Yeah.
So that to me, you couldn't get no better than to have a send-off like that in that film.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best things in that film.
And of course, like, he's also so valuable for the whole sword and sorcery community, for bringing Fools of Doom, like, not only on the big screen, but of course having it very much changed from the original cult stories from Robert E. Howard, but really, creating his own character and giving him, and also like the making him the Conan villain, and he did it so perfectly. And especially like in that movie you have, since Arnold was very early in his acting experience, you needed really to have like a main character that has the gravitas to acting wise carry the movie.
And you know what, let's just stay on this and just continue to give James his flowers, because the movies we talked to him last year when we did Best of the Best. He was the first Best of the Best film.
Yeah.
Remember when we talked Meteor Man? He had wings and stuff. Like, this man was so diverse with his roles.
Yeah.
I mentioned him when we talked the Hitcher, that he did Stone Man with C. Thomas Howell, and it's like, that movie didn't age well, but he was in that film.
Yeah.
So like he was in so many films in our childhood, growing up, and in the 70s, the Great White Hope.
Oh yeah. And I'm pretty sure that the hunt for the Red October stream will go a little bit over time, because we're gonna celebrate the heck out of his life.
And we may just talk about the Patriot Games and the other two Jack Ryan films that he was in. Because it's James Earl Jones. We might as well talk him all if he's in it.
Yeah.
But James Earl Jones is just legendary. All right, so that was it. VV, I hope you have a great time at your concert next week and enjoy yourself.
Thank you. Also, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. A fantastic weekend.
Yes, sir. And I will try. I don't think there's a Comic Con 2 episode tomorrow, because tomorrow is Matt Odom's birthday. Oh. And I know the guys are getting together to have a night with him. So, but hopefully we be back next week, because it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So with that in mind, I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoy the rest of your night. Later, y'all.